Lane Hutson is cooking at the Habs rookie camp, and the most recent meal of the day is Florian Xhekaj, who gets deked out of his shoes. But not only that, Jesse, we're seeing a preview of Hutson on the Habs power play, manning the point with Logan Mailloux next to him. There's a ton of great things to get into about this rookie camp, but not only about Hutson and Mailloux, Jesse. Adam Engstrom is in a prime position to shock a lot of people with his skill. And finally, some incredible comments from Florian Xhekaj and some talk on the Habs' top forward line heading into the big games this weekend, all coming up on this episode of Habs Digest. And we're just going to get straight into it, Jesse. And I want to just start with saying, like, so much is going on. Like, we're going to try and cover a lot in this video. We could cover a million different things, but we got to pick and choose, and we hope we cover the things you guys want to see. But the first thing I want to talk about, just briefly, Jesse, Marc Dumont had a great article today, and it will be linked down below. As always, please go show him the love he deserves. A ton of hard work. Fantastic writer. Analyzing Montreal Canadiens rookie camp lines and pairings. And there's the first thing I wanted to talk about, Jesse, is, well, I guess it's this, the first line. And it's Sean Farrell, Owen Beck, and Milhaneman. Now, we briefly discussed this the other day in a video, but, like, Owen Beck, he has a game of NHL experience. Sean Farrell was in the final. He was one of the finalists for the Hobey Baker just a couple seasons ago. And Emil Heineman, I would argue, is the most NHL ready out of these three guys. You could argue maybe Owen Beck, but Heineman already had a shot with Montreal after some great time in Laval. I think this line is primed to go off like something crazy. I think all three of these guys are just on that cusp of really just taking that kind of jump you want to see from some of your prospects. And I think this is a great trio to put each other in a great position to succeed.
Yeah, a very nicely constructed line by Pascal Vincent going into our two games this weekend, which we're so excited for. We know we got the two-way centerman in Owen Beck, so good on the draws, unreal. We got the playmaker in Sean Farrell, and we got the finisher in Emil Heineman. So definitely a solid line composition. I know Heineman's definitely got that experience here. I definitely got my eyes on Beck, though, going into this camp to see, can he make this team? And, of course, it is possible. Owen Beck can make this team out of camp, but it's going to be up to him. And I think that David Reinbacher had a really good quote when kind of being asked about this issue. He said, you want to play so well that you're kind of just like passing the ball back to the coach where like they need to now make a decision based on your good play, whether to keep you or not. So absolutely, that's what Owen Beck's going to be looking to do here in these next couple days.
Yeah, like all three of these guys have a real chance to dominate in this weekend. And all it takes, Jesse, is one good game. And all of a sudden you're in the good graces. You've shot your name up the depth chart in terms of who's going to be fighting for those final roster spots. So let us know what you think about this particular line. There's, of course, other lines, but this is the one that I think we're going to have the most eyes on. But there is one player that is a forward that we also wanted to mention in this segment of the video because there's so much going on. And that's Florian Xhekaj, Jesse. And in his comments today, they were interviewing some of these guys at the rookie camp. He said something really, really great, and I wanted to highlight this for the fans here. He said, talking about his brother Arber, he said, we'd fight a lot. And on the streets when we'd play ball hockey, it always ended in us fighting and me going inside and telling my mom on him. But I think it just made me tougher as a person. And now, well, I can take it now. You know, this is maybe just a passing comment. You know, I grew up with a brother. Like, there's, you know, these things happen when you have brothers. But to see where Arber has come and how far Florian has come, how that toughness has really become a part of his game, Jesse, how he is not willing. In fact, he said he loves going into the down and dirty areas when he was asked about his physical play. I think it's really paid off very well, and I'm very excited to see how he can dominate the Leafs. And, hey, still being around Arber, maybe he can even continue to grow with his big brother bullying him a little bit.
Yeah, I've been battling with Arber his whole life. In fact, he's been training for this camp his whole life. You know, I love to hear that, just kind of throwing down with Arber after every street hockey game. Like, can't you just picture that? Dad was playing goalie, just having to break them up. But really, that's what got them to this point in time, is that competitive nature, them never giving up on their dream and now having a chance. And what I like about Florian, like, I just like his attitude going into it, that like he wants to make this camp. Like, it's okay to go to the AHL. It's not a bad thing if he does. But I love just a player gunning in, setting his whole goals high and really looking to make that happen. So really just amazing to see from Florian that he's going to bring that mentality that he really wants to make it happen. Right now, he might need to be patient, but we can't really fault him for gunning for it.
I mean, he's one of those guys that's a pretty big wild card for this weekend. I'm really excited to see how he does. Let us know down below what you think. Where do you think Florian Xhekaj is going to end up? Is he going to end up playing higher than the third line in the second game? So that third line with Luke Tuck and Tyler Thorpe and Florian Xhekaj, I don't think they're going to break them up because I kind of want to see them wreak some havoc on the Leafs prospects. But we're going to move on quickly, Jesse, and I want to move into another different player that also is on this team, but he is a defenseman. That's Adam Engstrom, and he is in a position to shock a lot of people. Now, we love Adam Engstrom here on the show. We've been singing his praises all season long, as his incredible play for Rögle was absolutely outstanding. And I wanted to just highlight a quote from Marc Dumont in that same article that is linked down below, talking about Engstrom. Even though he's yet to play in North America, he's been playing professional hockey in Sweden since 2022 and giving him the type of insight and experience necessary to stand out. Don't be surprised if everyone ends up waxing poetic about Engstrom's creativity and silky smooth skating once the rookie camp wraps up. But Jesse, I feel like sometimes we forget just how good he was. This is Rogel's team scoring last season. Do you notice anything that stands out? Well, first of all, Engstrom is one of only 2 defensemen on the list, and he's also one of only 2 players below the age of 26 in the top 11 on the team in scoring. He was 20 by the season's end, but when the season started, he was 19 years old, and he was a defenseman, and he finished top 6 in his team in scoring. Absolutely unreal stuff, and the rest of his career is very solid, too. Again, he played pro games back in 2022, Jesse, as a 17, 18-year-old. This guy is quite dynamic. He maybe could put on a bit of weight, but his skating is smooth. He's one of those guys that we haven't been able to see, but I think Marc Dumont is right on the money, especially with what we saw, in that Engstrom could come in this weekend and make people say, oh, wow, no, he's legit going to be fighting for a spot in this training camp.
Yeah, he plays a really exciting brand of hockey, and, Marc Dumont, totally on the money. He's been singing his praises for quite a minute right now, and it's just because we don't get to see this player as much that he's a little bit more of an unknown, that we just don't really know how good of a player that he is, right? But when we look into him, we see that he earned a top pairing role in the SHL as an 18-year-old. For a U18 in the SHL, he led all defensemen in scoring in his first year. So this is a low-key, very good player, and the analytics really go to back that up. And we see that with that skating, that it's not just Lane Hutson, it's not just Mailloux that has that offensive talent, but also Engstrom as well. So when I kind of look at a player like this coming into camp, it really just kind of strengthens that thought for me that Kovacevic trade, the Harris trade, it wasn't just about Reinbacher, Mailloux, Hutson, those normal suspects. It was also clearing the way for a player like Adam Engstrom as well that can really play. So we're getting you all excited because I'm expecting this player to really show out over these next couple games.
I think it's going to be cool. What are the odds of him making the team right out of camp? Extremely low. I mean, I'll just straight up say that. It's extremely low. And he is playing second pairing with David Reinbacher. But what I will say is at the very least, even if he just plays Laval for the full season, he'll probably be in the good graces of a lot of coaches. And I think him and Reinbacher, it's going to be one of the smoothest skating tandems of defense that you'll ever see in a rookie camp. It's going to be phenomenal to watch. And I hope you guys are excited for Engstrom too. We'll have to keep an eye on him this weekend. But he's not the only one, Jesse. There's a certain guy that just keeps showing out. Lane is good. Did you know that? I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but this guy is absolutely unreal. Now, Stu Cowan was tweeting out a few videos because he was there at this rookie camp. The links to all his tweets containing these highlights will be down below as well. Please go check him out. Follow Stu Cowan on Twitter. Watch him everywhere. He does some fantastic stuff, of course. But this Deke here, Jesse. Oh, my gosh. I wish I had a Lane Hutson cooking animation. Whoops, see ya, Florian. Chill out, buddy. Come on. Lane Hutson, that wasn't even a crazy move, but again, he's so shifty. It's those little things, those little fakes that get him going. But not only that, Jesse, the fact he's on this power play, this right here is a look into the future, if you ask me. I mean, we saw him get his chance at the point with Montreal to end last year versus Detroit. And Lane Hutson, he just keeps showing out. It feels like every single day we're seeing new Lane Hutson clips. Another reason to be excited for this guy. And I don't know. I feel like I'm just literally never going to get tired of watching this guy handle the puck.
It seems like he's just on a warpath to make this team. This guy doesn't care who he jukes out, whether it's Guhle, whether it's Florian forechecking hard. He doesn't care. And the big thing about Lane Hutson is that, even for his offseason training, reporters were asking him, what did you want to focus on the most? And he said, for sure, gaining size a little bit. We know it's the elephant of the room. Need to do that. But he's he knows himself. He's I don't want to compromise on my quickness either, though. That's what I need to be successful. And we're seeing that really in that play. While, it's important to kind of gain that size and actually come for players to really know their strengths and really own that. In fact, that's what Pascal Vincent was really looking for with the players in this camp. He says, know what your real skill is and really stick to that. So it's really important that they're encouraging this early on. He's given them very actionable things to each prospect, okay, this is what you need to work on. This is really what you need to do better. But honestly, take those chances and play to your strengths. So obviously Lane Hutson has got that memo early on.
I mean, maybe we'll get into that in a separate video in a bit more detail because this kind of combo of Pascal Vincent down in Laval with Marty St. Louis, while he still does do that, obviously help prospects develop, he's also very much play your game. So it's this thing of let's develop your little skills, but keep playing the way that you play. I don't want you to change who you are. And like, we're seeing that, like, right here with Lane Hutson is the best thing. Now, again, there's still things he's going to need to learn, you know, be maybe a little more effective defensively, try and utilize that size a bit better, gain some core strength, be able to shield the puck a bit better, you know, all these little things that every player could really go to improve on, but especially a smaller guy. And like Mailloux as well, you know, decision-making, passing, this kind of stuff. But there's so many things like that, Jesse, that I'm just so confident for Montreal, and I'm so confident for Lane Hutson, because every time he does, I'm going to play the Dach one more time, because it's just fun to just watch this over and over. I mean, this guy's going to be something special. I think you guys know that too. I don't know if you're sick about Lane Hutson talk. We definitely aren't. We're not sick of any Habs prospect. We're going to hype them all up, because this is the most exciting time, and I can remember, well, except maybe making the Stanley Cup Finals, but for the future outlook, most exciting time I've ever had, and I hope you guys share that same feeling. But that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe, guys. We're still going for 15K. You guys have been subscribing like crazy the last few videos, so thank you very much, first of all. But if you're not subscribed, hit it now, because we're going to have daily videos all season long. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.